Triplebar Bio is a pioneering biotechnology company that is harnessing the power of AI and synthetic biology to revolutionize the future of healthcare and food. It's leveraging their proprietary hyper-throughput screening platform to generate massive amounts of biological data, unlocking unprecedented insights into the relationship between the genome and cellular function. By 2026, Triplebar aims to amass an astounding 100 trillion tokens of biological data, a data set that will be used to train and validate the world's most powerful genomic language models. And these GLMs will enable us to create products that use biology in a fundamentally new way. A paradigm shift that they call evolutionary intelligence. So with me is the CEO, Maria Cho, to talk about this. It's just fascinating what you're doing. And let's start with kind of the big picture of the biology age. And we've talked about the industrial age and things like that.
Yeah,
but you think we're entering a biology age. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, that's right. So, you know, we think about I guess the revolution that humanity needed to go through and the innovation that was required to solve the challenges of the industrial age, and that brought about the Industrial Revolution and the things that came with. It also brought around challenges, kind of as the impact of the Industrial Revolution. And so moving into this age, we're entering into what I like to call the biology age, the age where we are leveraging the biological code or leveraging science and biology to actually create products for humanity, not only to solve the challenges that we are facing today, but also to solve the problems that we created during the industrial age, like the impacts of climate change and loss of biodiversity and things that we experience. And so we're excited to be entering that age, and this is the start of it.
And it sounds like technology will play a role in this as well. AI, I guess, to analyze data.
That's right.
Look for trends. I mean, how does AI get incorporated?
Yeah. So there's many different types of artificial intelligence, and I'm sure we're all familiar with natural language or natural language models like ChatGPT-4, and that was trained on all of the publicly available language data that's on the internet. So kind of sentences, words, and then it amassed this capability or emergent property really to be able to have kind of predictive functions. So you can type into GPT, pass the bar exam, right? And then it can actually pass the bar exam to 90% of bar takers. There's also other types of language models like protein language models. And so these are models that leverage kind of proteins that are in the body. David Baker recently won the Nobel Prize in chemistry for the protein language models. But what we're looking to step into is actually genome language models. And so this is looking at the entire code of life and how does the code of life change and operate, and how does the cell or how does the body function? And we want to look into insights into how does that happen. And using traditional methods that scientists and biologists use today, they're just not powerful enough to be able to do that. And so what we can do is we can combine the technologies and things that we've been using to date with the power of genome language models and generative AI to really start to understand truly what is the code of life and predict, create a predictive model for life.
So that's really what it is. It's about prediction.
That's right.
And being able to mitigate the bad things that may happen down the road.
That's right. Yeah.
Now, you have raised some money,
yes.
Series B, right? So tell me about that. How is that helping you fund your ambitions? Are you looking for another capital raise at some point?
Yeah, so we've raised a Series A, and we're looking for, we're kind of currently in the middle of a Series B fundraise. And what the raise will actually enable us to do is to expand the amount of data that we can generate. And so we've basically established the platform that we leverage at Triplebar. We can talk a little bit about that and the products that we're creating there. But we're looking to expand the amount of products that we're working on and basically just scale the actual amount of products and data that we're able to generate, and that will be the use of funds for that. And we'll be approaching both the food and the biopharmaceutical industry and the applications of those two areas. So,
are there other companies doing something similar? And if so, are you different from them?
Yeah. So there's a lot of companies that are focused in the protein space, and so there's companies like Evolutionary Scale. They just raised $142 million Series A. today, companies like Zyra that raised $1 billion that came out of the Baker Lab. And these are companies that are working at the protein scale. And we're looking to focus at the genome scale. So there are companies in the synthetic biology space that operate at the genome scale, but aren't able to empower their workflows with tools like AI because the data that they're able to generate is not as significant as what is needed to create predictive function for these AI models. So, yeah.
And you have this revolutionary microprocessor, this game-changing technology to be able to speed up the process?
Yes.
So that will help you quickly be able to determine some of these predictive models?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So what we do with the technology, and this is kind of the foundation of 20 years of work by Dr. Jeremy Agresti, who's our founder and CTO, and he invented this technology called microfluidics. And what this does is we basically take the test tube, which is the unit of measure in biology, and we miniaturize it into essentially a microreactor that's a little bit larger than a single cell. So it's very, very tiny. It's about smaller than the size of a human hair. And then what we can do in these microreactors is we can put individual cells, individual therapeutics, or anything that we want to put into that little droplet. And then what we do is we also put test reagents, just like a test tube. But what we can do is take tens of millions to hundreds of millions of these individual microreactors, put them on a chip that fits in the palm of your hand, and that's what we call our microprocessor for biology. And then we can run that chip on our benchtop system at thousands of tests per second. So this is 3 to 4 orders of magnitude faster than the best state-of-the-art industry, technologies that are leveraged today. So this allows us to really make meaningful progress in, months and years, not eons.
How do these things help solve some of the biggest challenges that biotech faces?
Yeah, so really the key, issues are being able to make products using biology, but also make products that can be in biology at cost points that are approachable to the general public. And so, we work in 2 key areas, in food and nutrition and in healthcare. In both of those areas, high quality or high nutritious proteins are very expensive to make. And so our technology leverages the ability to make these proteins in organisms, but make them at costs that can be generally available to the public. And so we can really start to tackle the food crisis that we're seeing today. The other thing in the biopharma space, which is really exciting, I'm sure we're all familiar with different types of cancer therapies. Chemotherapy is like the main type of treatment that's kind of standard of care. But the problem with chemotherapy is it basically kills all the cells in the body. And so what our technology allows us to do is actually target a patient-specific tumor and identify what is the right type of therapy for that specific tumor, and really create kind of the first truly personalized medicine for different types of specific cancer indications, instead of just kind of blasting, with the normal types of technologies. Again, we've made so much innovation in the tools and technologies we have to date, but now it's time to take that step change and truly create a personalized therapy.
So that's really, what it means to the common person, so to speak, is that maybe better, more personalized healthcare that doesn't, they don't have to put up with all of the additional side effects of something. It's just tailored to them.
Right. And it actually works. I think efficacy is, the biggest problem. We hear, folks get cancer, they get on a treatment, their cancer is in remission, and then their cancer comes back. And that's really an effect of, the therapeutic abilities of the current drugs that are on the market. And again, this is where we can take that step change and say, well, what is this patient-specific tumor doing that we can actually target a specific therapy to that type of tumor? And so it actually makes cancer treatment such more, standard of care, so much more easy both for the patient as well as actually very efficacious for the patient. Yeah.
Could this also result in more cost-effective healthcare?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So one of the key, challenges is basically the cost of drugs in general. And there's different types of drugs. There's, innovator drugs. These are made by, the major pharmaceutical companies. And then as those drugs start to come off patent, there's drugs called generics or biosimilars. And the cost of those drugs are usually significantly less than the innovator drug, but they're still, pretty expensive to make. And so by leveraging these tools that we have with generative AI, we can actually start to bring down the cost of those drugs as well, and just make, again, these approaches, these therapeutic approaches much more achievable for, the general populace.
Yeah.
So,
Maria, absolutely fascinating. Best of luck to
Thank
you in
Thank
this
you.
and the new biology age. So it'll be fascinating to watch it unfold. Thank you.
Thank you.